John Hyon Ko here with the legend, the BJJ legend, Andre Galvao. It's his first time in Korea. How do you feel?
Amazing, this is the first time of many times. Hopefully, I can come back soon. And I had a great experience here. Now, I will enjoy the town. I enjoy the time with my friends from Korea, and I felt like really special. People treat me very, very well. Took care of me, and I'm in love with the Koreans.
You've been to many countries in Asia. So how do you see the growth of BJJ in Asia?
Man, it's not only in Asia, but all over the world. I believe Jiu-Jitsu, it's gonna be a fight that every single human being, one day, it's very easy to fall in love with Jiu-Jitsu, but here in Asia, it's growing. I remember back in the day, in 2005, when I used to travel to Japan. It was only Japan, Japan, Japan. You didn't see much Jiu-Jitsu in different countries, but now I can see Jiu-Jitsu growing a lot in China, growing a lot in Korea, also in Philippines, Guam. There's so many places, and it's just, I think, is the future of the sport, and I believe you guys can take Jiu-Jitsu for the next level, for sure, to the next level, for sure.
You said you competed in Japan. You've never competed in Korea.
Never.
So would you be interested?
Yeah, for sure. If you guys invite me, why not? It would be a great pleasure for me to compete here. I know Professor Cabral. He competed here before in a couple tournaments, but it would be amazing for me to be here and make some fights here for sure.
Well, they've been having super fights here. So is there an opponent that you would like to bring with you?
I'm not a guy that challenge people, Give me the opponent and I will train to make sure I win. I train to win no matter who I face. But right now in my mind, there's no one that I say, okay, I want to fight this guy, you know what I mean? So I'll be really happy to just be here and fight and do my best for my fans.
Gracie recently retired. You guys are about the same age. What's your thoughts on him as an athlete, and when do you think you might retire?
I'm always thinking about retiring. Like after the Worlds, like last year in 2016, I said, okay, no more. And then I fought this year again, and then I won. I keep doing good. I have a great training in San Diego, California, in my gym. So I don't really know like the exactly time I will retire, but I know it's really, really close. I'm not sure 100% if I'll compete next year, but if I'll do my best. Roger was an amazing fighter. He was an amazing fighter, and he did so much for the Jiu-Jitsu community as an athlete. Very special guy, very humble. I know Roger not very well, but I know him, and he seems like a very, very humble guy and a special fighter. I believe like his knowledge in Jiu-Jitsu, it's great, and also he knows how to use the Jiu-Jitsu according to his body type. So he's a tall, big guy. So he really knows how to use the leverage in his favor, and that's what makes him a special fighter.
Is that a big key for jiu-jitsu players, is to find like what fits them?
For sure. It's not everyone that will have the same jiu-jitsu, I believe in the body type. So I think people need to find what type of game fix, in their body type. And when you know that, you become a really good fighter, So I'm a guy that uses pretty much a little bit of everything because I'm like not too short, I'm not too tall, and I'm right there in the middle. But when you are very tall or when you are really short, so you need to know how to use the jiu-jitsu in your favor for sure.
Now, a lot of jiu-jitsu players have been transitioning to MMA over the years, and they've been doing well. What are the benefits of having jiu-jitsu as a base for MMA?
I think it's everything. I think without jiu-jitsu, I'm not saying it's impossible for you to fight MMA, but the first fight that you're gonna have with someone that grabs you and take you down, it's gonna be really hard for you to deal with that, with that situation. So at the end of the day, always when you fight, you will be connected, or you're gonna scramble somehow, and you need to be ready to defend yourself, to know how to defend yourself, and also to attack, in the scrambles aspect. And the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu really helps an MMA fighter, and I think it's a very important key for MMA fighters.
I know that you're around a lot of MMA fighters. You train MMA fighters. Do you ever feel like, I want to do it again?
Yeah, I do. My last fight was against Tyron Woodley, and the guy is the guy that he's winning everything, dominating the weight division for a couple of years. I didn't lose for just somebody, or anybody. So I lose to a top guy, a guy that came to be a champion. He's a really, really good. He's a champ. But I had a great experience in MMA. I was even talking with Professor Caporal about that. If it come a good opportunity for me, of course, I would do that. But right now I have my gym, I have a lot of students. I have my team, it's growing a lot. And that's why I decided to step out a little bit, And thank God I came back to Jiu-Jitsu, and I come back in a very good way. I had like one of the best years of my career in Jiu-Jitsu after MMA, Doing MMA was great for me because it gave me a lot of experience about training, dieting, cutting weight, things like that. Some of those things like we don't learn in Jiu-Jitsu, and MMA really helps me with that.
Nowadays, a lot of people are getting, busted for steroids in MMA, and now Jiu-Jitsu has it too, right?
Yeah.
And you experienced it yourself when you competed, right, against somebody that was using steroids. How do you feel about that?
I think it's part of the sport, I think it's really, really important to have this, in our sport. I was the first athlete ever in Jiu-Jitsu history to be in test, to make the test for USADA. I remember it was Pan Am's 2014, I think, or 2013, something like that. That's when they start. I always did my best for the sport, And, unfortunately, like a lot of people, they fail, the test. Like there's many ways for you to fail. Maybe only with the supplement, or even with the steroids, or some type of medication, So you need to be aware, of everything you're taking, Like not only saying, oh, I gotta be careful with steroids. Not that, but you gotta be careful with even anti-inflammatory. You gotta be careful with all the things that you take. So I think it's good for the sport, So every single sport has that, and I think it's important, And unfortunately, like in 2014, I competed against Pena, and then he failed. Not only him, but a couple guys already failed in Jiu-Jitsu. But I believe like it's just because their experience, maybe like it's it's our sport, and I think this will be beneficial for the future generations as well.
Do you think it's mental?
What do you mean aspect? Like to use?
Yeah, to use.
Could be, right? Could be. There's a little, like you have like Lance Armstrong. You have top level athletes like in the Olympic Games, they fail as well, People use for performance, And some athletes, they do anything to become the best, I think that's why probably like mentally helps as well.
If you have a message for the kids out there, there's a lot, the jiu-jitsu community is growing in Korea. If you have a message for the kids, what would the message be?
You know, I would say that they need to have fun, every time they step on the mat, and have a discipline, respect their coaches, professors, respect the elders, doing their best on and off the mat, because being a champion on the mat, it's amazing, but being a champion off the mat is great. I think it's the most important thing. Respect their parents. A champion is not like just someone that wins tournaments. I think champion is someone that knows how to take care of people, knows how to respect the elders. I think that's being a champion. And I think that's the most important advice that I can give for all your kids, all the kids here in Korea. Keep training, have discipline, and respect on and off the mat. That's it.
All right, last question. You're very focused and like concentrated when you're competing, but then the video came out of you and Anderson Silva, joking around with the Steven Seagal thing.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Anderson is an amazing fighter, but also a great friend. We have always great time when you're together, and I like to make him laugh. His smile, the way he laughs, it's funny. And it's amazing. He always likes to have fun, and I'm a guy that always play jokes. I joke around all the time, and I did that, and it was just like to, break a little bit off the camp environment. Like sometimes you cannot be like too serious. You need to make sure you have fun, and I like to make my friends laugh, and it's part of me. Okay, so nothing else. I just like making laugh.
All right, thank you for your time.
All right, no problem. Thank you so much. Hopefully I can come back here to Korea and give my best. And I would like to say thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for everything. And also I would like to say thank you for my family, all my sponsors, and all you guys for interviewing me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.